Hi, and welcome to Elevate and Conversate with Sasha Fierce, where the goal is to ultimately trust and follow the beat of your own drum through elevating and conversating, inspiring and motivating. So, guys, I'm back. How you like my song of the week? Yes, we made it. We made it. So, all classes of 2020, well done. We actually made it. And with that, I thought, why not let us have a conversation? Let us conversate today about education, learning, and my experience as a mature student in university. Let's go, hey? So I bet you're thinking, what? Way? Whoa, how? Why did you think of doing that? Okay. There was a number of reasons, to be honest. But mostly those will be personal. They were personal reasons. It was to do with, so first of all, my son, my youngest son, he was diagnosed with ADHD. And I was working full time. So it was becoming a bit pressurized at work because I was getting phone calls every other day, if not every day, to the school to then let me know that they were not able to handle my son, which is a whole nother episode, hey, how the school doesn't manage and say that they can't manage our boys in school. But hey, as I said, that's a whole nother episode. So yeah, that was one of the reasons, the pressure, the work pressure, also the mum guilt of not being able to be there. So when they call me, it's going to take me at least 40 minutes to get home or to get to school. So he is in distress or what's going on. Yeah, and Sasha Fierce would always come out when he get to school because it's my son, isn't he? And yeah, I didn't like certain things. But anyway, again, like I said, that's a whole nother episode, guys. So yeah, so I decided I don't want to be that mum, and I'm tired of working now. I have had enough. I've been working since I was 14, to be honest, in part-time jobs. I was now, 40? So yeah, I'd had enough of working. I was tired. I wanted to be there for my youngest son. I had that mum guilt, definitely had that. So yeah, and I didn't see any promotion coming soon or any big money coming. So I decided to take that step and say I'm out. And oh yeah, and by the way, there was redundancy, so it made it even a lot easier. I was the first one like, yeah, I'll take that. I'm gone. I'm out. Let's do this. So yeah, I took it, and just put one foot in front of the other, I suppose, as again, like I say, we're following the beat of our own drum. But yeah, so I decided that I wanted to do something. I couldn't just quit my job, and didn't want to go into another job. I didn't want to work part-time. I just didn't want to work for that moment in time. I wanted to be there for my son. And what can I do? I'm not one of those persons or people that can just sit around. I need to do something. My brain, my mind, my hands, whatever it may be, I need to keep myself busy. I've always been like that. Plus as well, I believe being a mother and the own, of the household, I need to set an example. So I should be doing something, right? Instead of watching Jeremy Kyle or all those soap things on the television. So now I decided, yeah, I'm going to go and get a little education. Yeah, I thought about that. So there was a number of reasons. Like I said, some education, no promotion. My son had ADHD. So they were easy. I didn't have, it was no brainer. It was not hard at all for me to think about saying, do I need to, should I not? Nah, I was out. I knew I wanted to do this. And then then the process came. So the process is like, whoa, okay. Yeah, and it was like, whoa to me because I hadn't studied for a long time. I think, to be honest, I'm going to tell you a little something because 30 years ago, this June just gone, was when I left school at 16. Yeah, you do the maths. But yeah, I left school 30 years ago, June just gone, and I hadn't done any form of education or learning from then at all. So yeah, it was the process and it was very daunting. I was terrified. But I suppose I was determined because I knew I didn't really want to go to work. And I didn't want to go back to work. So I was determined to conquer this. So I decided to ask a few people. And I remember asking my daughter's friend, who'd just not long gone to uni, and she'd applied for it and everything. And I think she was at her last year now doing it all. So I asked her a few questions about the process and about it all. So yeah, the first process, if anybody's thinking about it or you'd like to just know, it was going to UCAS. So going on to UCAS and having to look at and choose between the thousands of universities they have, and whittle them down to just five of the best ones that you would like to get an offer from, an offer of a place on the course that you're looking to do. And because of my background, because I've done recruitment, because I've worked with people and individuals and getting them into work, that type of thing, I kind of thought HR would be the best role for me. I kind of know the bit of the background, so I wanted to know a bit more as well about that type of aspects. I did. So I chose that course, HR. I did that. It was good. I went on the website, had a look. So yeah, it was now getting to my 5 universities. As I said, it was very daunting. It was very terrifying, but I did some research into it. I looked. You know, Google is a good friend, so I put in there and it comes, I think there's a website or two that can tell you who's the top ranked universities in London or wherever you're looking to study. I was looking to study in London because I didn't want to have to travel much further than where I am. So yeah, so I looked at looked around at the ranking list. So there was a few in there. I didn't choose the top 5 because they didn't have my courses or whatever it may be, or because as well what you do in the course when they tell you what say the university I went to was West London. So when I went to University of West London, I looked onto their website. They do the course and they also tell you what they want from you. So for instance, like I said, I hadn't studied for 30 years. So all that university wanted from me was they wanted me to write up my experience, why I wanted to be and do this course and why I wanted to get into HR. And they also just wanted my exam results from when I was a teenager. Great, because some of the others want you to have A levels, they want you to have X, Y, and Z that Sasha didn't have. So yeah, I couldn't even pick them anyway, even if I wanted to go there. So I eventually had my 5. You put them on UCAS, you write up your little synoptics, your little whatever description of yourself and why you think you'd be perfect for this course and why you want to do it, why you have a passion for it. So yeah, I did that by getting a bit, as I said, from help from family, friends, and my son and other people that I knew had been to university. So yeah, that was the first process. I got down my 5 and then you send it off and you just sit and wait. You wait. And that was daunting for me because yeah, suppose they don't want me. Suppose they say no. What the hell? What am I going to do? But yeah, it was, I was told, don't worry, don't fret. This is just the process. They have to do these type of things. And it's not, it's not a no-no. More than likely, they're going to say yes. But what will happen is they may call you for an interview or want to see a bit more about you. I was lucky enough that didn't happen, to be fair. I got 3 out of my 5 that offered me. 2 of them wanted a bit too much and 1 didn't want nothing at all. So, I took the easy route out and I went to the one that didn't ask for anything at all. But yeah, it was very terrifying. But before accepting, when you see all the ones that you want and everything as well, and before accepting, they have open days. So that's another step of the process. You've got to go onto these open days. You've got to go around. You've got to talk. You've got to find out about the course, who's your tutors, if the university is good, that type of thing. So yeah, I dragged my daughter along with me and my grandson, and we went to a couple of them. And yeah, they looked good. They looked good, but what was I looking for? I didn't know. And I'll be honest with you, I just knew if they were going to take me, what they wanted, what was their requirements, and that type of thing. But all the universities I went to, they looked good enough to me. So I'm just waiting now to see who's going to really accept me. What do I do next? So yeah, and the student loan. Don't forget your student loan. I mean, at the time, I actually never thought about it. I still don't worry about the student loan, if I be honest with you. I don't. And the reason being is because I did it for a purpose. I had a purpose and a goal in mind, and I've reached that. So I can't worry about those things because that was my goal, and I couldn't have reached it without that support. So yeah, I'm not fretting and I'm not worrying, and as you all know, I'm a God-fearing woman. So I don't need to fret about debt. Plus, we all know UK is one place they won't put you in jail for debt. So I'm good, right? I'm good. Anyway, and then there's registering. So when you do accept and when you do get into the uni, like I said, I went to University of West London. So when I found out they didn't want anything from me and I went to their open day, they were quite smart as well. Went to their open day and they offered me this, that, and this, that, and this if I signed today. And I was like, yeah, I'll sign. So I signed and I received a lot of stuff, a lot of my money, the bursaries, other things that was really good, that helped me. And including a jumper and a pen, hey? But yeah, it worked. So I signed up and immediately that was me. I knew I was going there then. And that was on their open day. That took a little bit of the pressure off because I knew I was going there. Now that's it. It's going to work. It's meant to be, right? Don't even look at the other universities anymore. I've accepted this one. So yeah, I remember doing that, and I remember having to then think about all the registering, because once now that's your university, you have to register, that's your university, you have to register to get your money, and you have to link the two together. So yeah, it was a process, but a process that it gives you enough time. They give you enough time, I should say. It isn't a process where, oh my God, I've got to fill out this application, what's going to happen next? No, this happened over a period of months. So you go to the university, then you do your forms, but these are all months in ahead. So I had time. It was good. Yeah. And then we get to the first day. So yeah, I've registered, I'm going there now and I'm ready to attend. So my first day is nothing more than just registering. You need your student loan to the university and the student loan to link up and let them know that you are starting there. So it's all about your money. You need your money, right? And your ID. So it's all the basics on your first day. It's not actually no class or nothing. Your first day of attending is just to register and get all of the information you need to start on your first day and what your first day is going to be like. So yeah, I went there, sat in the back and was listening and was like, ooh, yeah, cool. Never ever felt, if I be honest, I never felt out of place. But I mean, a lot of people always say that I look young for my age, so I suppose, and I can blend in. But even with the conversations, I'd say, because maybe I've got young children, I was able to interact. But yeah, but I still say it was good. I learned a lot from my fellow colleagues, and I believe that they learnt from myself. Yeah, because there was in my class, if I'm going on to now, so my first day in my first class, that was good. I've been told I was lucky because going to university can be very daunting because the classes can be sometimes 100 and stuff. But I think that was a long time ago, to be honest. And I also think that depends on what course you're doing. So if you're doing law, then yes. If you're doing doctoring or anything like that, yes. HR when we started, and I also as well, I was quite lucky because this university was the first year they were doing this course. So I believe that's why there wasn't a lot of people signed up. So I had a very small class. So that was good for interactions and not feeling so overwhelmed on my first week. There was other few mature students in there as well. So I wasn't the only one. And yeah, it was good. Young people and old people, I said, we was all mixing together. Yeah, we was all learning together. So yeah, I didn't find it at all like I was out of place or that I couldn't get into place or I didn't understand what they were saying. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. I did. The workload began though on your first day. Don't get it twisted. Your workload begins. It's like they're waiting. They're waiting for you to come through that door on that day. Everything's been written over the holidays and you just bam. But let me just tell you something. I was overwhelmed with it all again. I tell you that. So on that first day of my class, I'd gotten over the overwhelming and being daunting and everything when I'd say when I'd signed up at Newcastle and now I'm going, and yes, I'm great. And even my open days, it was all good. It was very warming and welcoming. It was all good. But I began overwhelmed again because of the workload and stuff. And I'd like to say to you, I wasn't as serious as I should have been or could have been. Because remember, my aim and my goal to going to university was to make sure that I had more time to be with my child, my youngest son. So I wasn't serious about, the workload. So when I saw it, it was like, okay. But yeah, in my head, all I'm saying is I just need a pass. I just want to pass. I'm good. Because me and my son, we're studying together. I'm walking with him because he was just about to start secondary school as well. So we were walking together in this new adventure. I'm going to university. He's starting secondary school in September. We were both doing it. So yeah, so I was just basically trying to be there with my son. So I wasn't very serious about it all. But however, hey, my first feedback, let me tell you something. When I got my first feedback, I'm a person, I don't like feedback. I was speaking to someone the other day and I was telling him that, yeah, I'm one of those people that, yeah, I like the feedback, but in my head I'm like, no, no, no. I took so long to do that. Don't tell me no bad things about it. I don't want to hear the bad things. I just want to hear good. But it's constructive, tongue-tied. I'm getting constructive feedback and constructive criticism, which as an adult I should be able to take, right? So that first feedback, she told me a few things, and when I look back, I think I was quite good, to be honest, on that one, because it was my first ever feedback and I needed to understand. So I sat there, I listened, I tried to explain to her why I did this. But remember, this is my first piece of academic writing ever. And it was good, the feedback. She didn't slate at it as much as I thought. I thought I didn't have a clue of where to write on the piece of paper. So I was very chuffed with myself. I was like, hey, okay. So we'll take on her criticism. We're going to go back and we're going to work on it. I was loving it. And then the mark came. Hey, listen, my first piece of mark was in its 70s. And if you know, if you've been to uni, if you haven't, 70s is a first. Yes, straight. And I had to just look up and say, it's God alone, because I just told you guys, I hadn't studied, I hadn't done anything academic in over 30 years. Well, 27 years back then. But yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing feeling. And yeah, now the challenge was about to begin inside of me. Terrible. Yeah, so it did. It began, assignment season began. I remember sitting with my sister and my daughter. I'd go to my sister's house with my books. I'd walk everywhere with my laptop and my books, to be honest. If I was going to my brother's house, if I was going to my sister's house, going to my daughter's house, I would always walk with my laptop and my books. And when I'm typing away, you can ask all of them. I bet they can hear them now, cussing and saying. They used to say, I used to be sitting there going, who's got another word for again? Who's got another word for shut up? Who's got another word for reason? Who has another word for millennium? Whatever it may be, whatever I was studying, I needed another word. Give me another word for because. Or I'd always say, this is done. I've done 450 words. I'd always give them how many words I'd written. I'd always give them a rundown how many words I'd written. I said, right, I'm great. This is good. Yep. So yeah, I bet they're happy that I don't do that anymore. But I'd loved it. I actually loved it. But remember, in anything in life, nothing is plain sailing. So I'm telling you all the good points, but don't forget, there's always some bits. So yeah, my bad bits were I had 2 tutors and a fellow student that they were sent to test me. But you know what? I was growing. Thinking about it now, it taught me so much. Yeah, as I said, I had the bad days with the students and a tutor. But yeah, we got through them, we got it. And as I said at the beginning, we made it. Yeah, definitely made it. But along the line, please know that education is something that it's looked at, it's not given its props, to be honest. I tell you that much. But because education, we can do it in so many different forms and different ways, right? And I learned, going back as a mature student, I learned so much about myself. I learned about what I like, and what I like and how I study a lot more. You know, just the basics. Of being able to understand HR and understanding HR in full depth, the functions and the how many different aspects there are of HR, and really getting to come to grips to knowing what part of HR that I really like and where I want to pursue my career, in what area. Also, again, about myself, in terms of going to the gym, and just being able to create that time, really just living in that moment and living in them times that I was creating. Definitely enjoyed it. Going back to studying, it was colossal. I say that straight. It was colossal. It's one of my big words. So yeah, it was colossal. But and I would definitely do it again. I would definitely recommend it. So if you guys want to ask me any questions, please feel free to. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It was an awesome experience. And I'd also say, I believe that that experience that I got was because I'm a mature student. I don't think I would have got the same experience if I was 17 or 18, or even 19, just coming out of school or college. I actually found a new insight into this old Sasha. And it was great. It was a good feeling. And I'm actually really thinking about now doing a master's. But hey, I know I need to grow up. Yes, I do. I know. I can't study for the rest of my life. And I need to get a job and put some of these things that I've learned into practice, hey. So yeah, I believe so, that I will do a master's. And I want to do it soon as. But yeah, watch this space. Okay, guys? But today's conversation isn't really to say to you, look, that you all need to go to uni and you need to follow my beat of my drum. It's to say that you need to follow the beat of your own drum. Remember, change is uncomfortable. And that's what I was feeling at the beginning, when I was terrified and it was all daunting and overwhelming, because we are habitual people. We are definitely habitual, and we need to learn to sometimes just to follow the beat of our own drum, definitely, and keep doing that daily. Remember that, guys, because like I'm telling you this, my stories, they are not unique, but however I am, just like you and you. Yes, we are all unique, guys. And I say this with a passion. Just remember to follow the beat of your own drum, not mine's and not your sister's, just yours. See you soon.